Hi, this is the second video for writing and solving equations number 2. In this video, we're going to take a look at questions that deal with calculating the average. A good example of thinking about average is thinking about your grades in school. How do we calculate average grades? If all of your assignments or exams are worth the same, then you can simply add up each of the values. So that's shown here in this formula. So the first value plus the second value, plus the third value, and so on. And then however many things you added up to each other, you will divide by. So for example, if you have a score of 60%, and then you add 70%, and then you add 80%, so you're getting better on each exam, you would calculate the average by adding up those three scores and dividing by 3. Then you would get that average there, and that would be 70%. So we use this formula, and we need to know the formula in order to apply algebra for something that we don't know. So we're going to look at a question like that, except for the thing about this question is we don't know one of the grades. So Jenna received 77%, 69%, 81%, and 76% on her science tests. What mark does she need on her 5th test in order to achieve an average of 80%? This is useful for her to know. She's been doing well in the course, and she has a goal, so she needs to know realistically what she has to get on her last test in order to reach that 80%. So what we're going to do is set this up the same way as before. We're going to start to add the values that we know. So each of her scores will be added to one another, but the 5th one is the one we don't know. That's our unknown. So that is going to be our x or our y, whatever variable you want to give. We know that there are 5 tests, so we will need to do a division by 5. And we know what we want to have as the average. She wants 80%. And so the 80% is going to be the goal on the other side of the equation. So how do we solve this? Well, what we need to do first is we need to add up all the values that we do know. So we add 77, 69, 81, and 76, and that gives us a score of 303. Now we're going to add that to our 5th score, divide by 5 to come out to 80%. We've been at this kind of equation before. We only have one denominator, so our lowest common denominator is 5. So we can clear this fraction by multiplication by 5 to both terms of the equation. That will cancel us out on the left-hand side. And that will give us 303 plus x is equal to 80 times 5, which is 400. Now we know how to solve this. We need to isolate the variable through subtraction on both sides of the equation. And so the 5th mark, x, is equal to 97. So yes, she needs a big number there on her 5th test. In order to have an 80% average, she needs 97%. For practice in the exercise, there's only a couple of questions, but I recommend that you do them now. So on page 281, question number 11 is an average question. And on page 282, the numeric response question 1 is also an average question.